I'm meteorologist Monica Woods, and we're finally tracking changes across the west. That includes some showers for northern and central California. So we're going to be tracking that for the coast, the valley, and the foothills, plus light snow expected for this year. We actually need to get things going since we've been largely dry since the beginning of the month. Big boom in late December, early January for precipitation, and since then it has been virtually not a drop in the bucket, but things are about to change. Not a huge change, but just enough to kind of mix up the atmosphere here. Want to check in on our reservoirs. They've actually pulled back from releases in Northern California from those water releases that we saw earlier because of big gains that we saw with precipitation early in the month. So now that things have largely dried out, they're pulling back on those releases, kind of holding on to everything that we've got right now. Things are still looking good at one of the biggest reservoirs in the state. The state manages Lake Oroville, and they have since pulled back on those releases. Still a little bit of a trickle to meet some federal regulations, but overall we're going to stay status quo here until we see things going again. But in terms of overall picture, the reservoir is looking really healthy. Now, February is one of the wettest months of the year for us in Northern California, so we still have some time to catch up here. By March and April, we really start to see things dropping off, particularly for our snowpack. Things are going to change in the short-term forecast as well. Heading into our Tuesday late day forecast, we see this band of precipitation picking up all the way from the central coast through Northern California. Snow picking up as well. That will hit the Tahoe Basin overnight Tuesday into Wednesday, but you can see how quick moving this storm system is, because by Wednesday afternoon, we're right back to a dry outlook, and that largely looks like it's going to stay in place all the way through the beginning of February. Slight chance of seeing some precipitation moving through on the weekend forecast, but overall the picture looks pretty dry here. In terms of total rainfall, anywhere from about 1/4 of an inch to a 1/2 an inch potentially north of I-80. In the Tahoe Basin, just about 1 to 2 inches of snow possible. Not much coming in towards Yosemite and the Central Sierra. Let's talk numbers now. Early on in the day, we'll see a mix of sun and clouds. Highs are going to reach the 40s before that band of precipitation starts to roll our way. Highs in the 50s and 60s down low throughout the foothills. Checking in on the Central Sierra, highs are going to reach the lower 50s before we see just a slight chance of a dusting of snow rolling through overnight. Highs in the Central Valley will be in the 60s. Nice to see a little less in the way of that widespread dense fog. We'll still see a touch of it for the morning, but then things are really starting to erode during the afternoon. 60s as we head towards the central San Joaquin Valley over towards the central coast. Highs are going to be in the 50s and 60s. For the Bay Area, we're looking at areas of showers picking up late in the day. Highs in the 60s, inland areas in the 50s, and as we move towards the northwest coast, highs are in the 50s and 60s with near 60-degree temperatures on the north end of the valley. Capital Region forecast, highs are going to be in the 50s to near 60 heading into our Tuesday. And again, a little bit of a disruptive pattern overnight Tuesday into Wednesday, but otherwise a largely dry outlook for us throughout the region. A look at our extended forecast throughout the valley. Highs are going to reach the upper 50s to right around 60, pretty close to average actually. Once we get through that overnight Tuesday, early Wednesday rain, you can see we're mostly in a dry and warming pattern heading into next week, which will be the first week of February.